Greetings, guys. It's Fancy, and today I have a special guest with us, Miss Audra Hill. Miss Hill is an author as well as a preacher and speaker, but I'll first give her just a second so that she can share it and make sure that her viewers are able to watch this episode as well. And while she's doing that, I'll just remind you all, excuse me, that we do have our new normal issues. Miss Hill is an author as well as a preacher and speaker. Let me show y'all right quick. Okay, and you have you've been able to share. Wait, you went back to mute. I mean, 1 second.
I'm about to share it now.
Okay, it's shared now. Okay, all right. So first off, I'd like for you, I know that I think it's always better for you all to tell the audience who you are, so you're not just reading off a piece of paper. So who is Miss Audra? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello everyone, great evening. I am Audra Hill. I am blessed to be an author. I'm actually a mother first, so let me just say that first. A mother, a minister. I am a speaker, and now I am a brand new author as of February the 2nd of this year. And so I'm just happy to be here tonight.
Well, congratulations. And also, I love that you said that you are a mother first. I am aware of that. And actually, even I noticed it in your bio, and I was like, you know what, I wonder if I should leave with that, but I didn't just quite touch on any motherhood questions. However, the fact that you just pointed it out, like I see that that's very important to you. So what type of mom would you say that you are? How many kids do you have?
I have one son. He is 18. He graduated in the midst of all of this COVID situation. He graduated this year. And what kind of mother would I say that I am? I believe that I'm definitely an encourager, an empower. Want to see him move forward on what God has created and purposed him to do. And so I'm definitely big on that. That's a part of my little daily, weekly sermon to him about, stepping forward and giving that time to hear God and to connect with what he's purposed to do. So.
Wow, it's funny that you just mentioned it. Well, for one, because when I saw the single mother, I don't know why in my mind I kept thinking, oh, she must have in my mind I kept thinking you had 5 children. I don't know where I got that from. So to hear you say one, I'm like, okay, yeah, you definitely. But also the fact that you mentioned that about taking the time to hear God, it's funny because my co-host and I are actually fasting this week, and our whole purpose, is to be able to hear God more clearly. So I think that was just like a confirmation for me with you just even bringing that up in the midst of this conversation.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
So now, of course, you have your book from trauma to transformation. Without giving us all the details of your book, we do know that you did experience a near-death experience. And yes. I wanted to know if you could share a little bit about that.
Sure. Everyone, this is my first book. This is my first baby that I've given birth to, from trauma to transformation, all things new. Back a few weeks before Christmas, 2015. I make my way home. I'm getting ready to veg out on a movie and some good eating. And I feel fine, or at least so I think. And the next thing I know, I'm waking up and I'm having this traumatic dream that I can't wake up. I keep trying to get up and walk, but I can't. And I thought after going in and out of that dream 3, 4, 5 times, I'm thinking that it's just a very volatile dream. And at some point I'm able to pull myself together. I'm able to get up and I'm noticing that I can't really see all that well, but I'm just thinking that it's because I'm really, really exhausted. I worked a very stressful job and I was exhausted that day. And I'm just thinking, I just need a good night's rest.
Right.
But it's occurring to me, I've been asleep for a while and I'm really, really tired. But why? And at some point, I fully come to myself and I'm realizing that I'm disoriented. And I'm also realizing that I can't move on one side of my body.
Wow.
And I raced to the bathroom like a movie. I raced to the bathroom and I'm throwing water on my face and I'm slapping myself because I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to come out of this. And no, it's real. Something is happening. Something has occurred in my body. And I think that I know what it is, but I'm not really sure. All I know is that one side of my body is completely numb and I can't move my hand. I don't really know all of where I am or what's going on. And I later find out once I arrive at the hospital and tests are done, I am informed that I've had a major stroke. And to say that I was scared, to say that I was angry, all of that is an understatement. And yet I sit rather in this moment saying to you and to every listener, it was one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. I couldn't say it then, but as time moved on and as God took me through my journey of healing, I'm now able to say, what is it now? It'll be 5 years later, that it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I wasn't living, I was alive and I was healthy then, but I'm better now. Better now, even though I have all of, these various health challenges, if you will. And yet I'm healthier now because I'm healthier spirit and mind and ultimately body. And so I'm grateful for that experience. But I go into detail, of course, further in the book. But again, it was the catalyst for healing that I've been seeking for a number of years. I knew that there was something more that I was supposed to experience, something more that I was supposed to feel, something more that I was supposed to do. I knew God had called me to something greater, but I just couldn't connect with it. And I was miserable. As a person, I was miserable. And through that stroke, my life began to change for the better. And so here we are 5 years later, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful because it really served as a catalyst to usher me into that which I had always envisioned, knew was for me. But again, I didn't know how to connect with it at the time.
Wow, that's just the testimony, and that's not even the whole book. That's just that
not even the whole book. Nope.
I have to ask though, because initially I was like, okay, well, what was her trauma, and then once I saw something about the near-death experience, I'm like, okay, I'm figuring that that's connected to it, but I wasn't expecting the stroke. And then also, did you go to therapy after that? Because I'm certain, we talk about trauma, but that had to have been very traumatic. And even when you mentioned the kind of going in and out of things, thinking that you were in a dream, where were you? Were you in the car still? I'm just curious.
I was home at that point. And I had just dozed off watching a movie, which was normal for me. I had been, for a number of years, I have been what I'm sure would have been determined as clinically depressed. But you know how we do. I'm okay. I'm pushing through it. I'm doing what I have to do, especially I'm a single mom. And so I was doing what I needed to do to take care of my son, make sure he was okay. And
Not tending to yourself.
Not tending to myself. And again, I dozed off. I was fine before I dozed off. And it wasn't uncommon for me to do that. Like I literally could go to sleep anywhere at any point. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't uncommon because, again, I was so stressed out and I was depressed, but denying it. I shared that when I finally came to myself, I couldn't move my arm and my hand, but my situation, my paralysis, if you will, grew worse. Mm-hmm. And so I go into the book as to specifically all of the reasons why. But by the time it was all said and done, I didn't know my name. I didn't know. I knew I had a child, but I didn't know what his name was. I was in the room with my mother and I'm looking at her. I know it's my mother, but I don't know her name. I don't know any of my demographic information, no address, birth date, nothing. And at that point, it was, when it was all said and done again, I really couldn't walk. I couldn't feel anything on the entire right side of my body. And so again, God just takes me through this season that felt initially like the valley of the shadow of death. I was crying out. I wanted to die. It became progressively more and more traumatic, like trauma on top of trauma, until. And so in the book, I share, again, I try to be as authentic and as vulnerable as possible in the book, because ultimately in the end, I wanted to use my message to encourage others. I felt like I was alone. I felt like I was the only one that felt, if you will, out of sorts in my life. But I'm not. I wasn't, and I'm not. And I wanted to share my story to encourage others to make changes, starting spiritually and then mentally. That my hope and prayer is that it will make a difference for them in their lives, that they hopefully won't have to experience some of the pain and the trauma that I did, and that I experienced, because ultimately in the end, there were some factors that led up to that stroke. Right. I was ignoring all of those signs, and we do that. And so again, I pray that my story, my testimony would be an encouragement to someone else to say, you know what, I'm not alone, and I can make it through this. And I know that there's better for me, and I'm going to push forward, and I'm going to connect with it, and I'm going to make it happen and do what I've been called and created and purposed to do.
Right. I also think that it might serve as a wake-up call, for especially a lot of us that are single moms. Excuse me. Your story, just even the fact that you acknowledged that there were things, that might have could have been prevented earlier, or avoided, but you weren't tending to yourself or practicing enough self-care, basically. Absolutely. And so I think that really brings, that hits home for a lot of us. Really.
Right.
So what was it like writing? And I mean, because you kind of had to relive it again.
Absolutely. That's a good question. First of all, this is my first book. I never considered myself as a great writer prior to, so pre-stroke, I never considered myself as this great writer. And now I've gone through all of these experiences, and I'm believing God is saying to me, write this book, tell my story, that someone's going to be blessed by it. And it took me about a year and a half to do it. And as you shared, I was reliving it. I was having to relive not just that experience, but what really was the true source of my pain that I had up until that point not even identified. And it was a lot of work. It was very taxing. And yet, though many tearful nights, it was worth it. It was worth it for those telephone calls and text messages and reviews that I've received and emails that I've received saying, little did I know, like, I thought I was okay, but your book spoke to me. It's calling me to have to acknowledge some things that I tried to push deep down and not, deal with them and avoid them. I need some help. I'm not okay. I want to be, and your story is encouraging me to allow me to know that I will be. But I know I've got some work to do. And for every tear that I've shed, it was worth it to receive testimonies like that, to receive testimonies saying, I went through a similar situation and I thought I wouldn't be able to make it through. And I'm looking at you and I'm reading your story and I know that I can make it through. I know that there's healing for me on the other side of my pain. And so again, those responses make it worthwhile. Whatever it was that I went through leading up to this book, whatever they were, it's all worthwhile for responses like that.
So are you working on any other books?
I am. It's taken me a little bit of time because again, though I clearly you can hear that I can speak, you know what I'm saying, and that I understand what you're saying. There are still some cognitive shorts. And so it takes me a little bit longer to process. But yes, I feel like this first book was, again, the first book. As soon as I released it, I heard God saying that it was the first of many. And so, yes, that is my intention. And so I already started the outline and so forth for the next book. And I'm just believing that as I share more of my story and connect more with my purpose, because I believe that this all of the work that I've done thus far, it's just drawing me, if you will, pulling me deeper into what I've been purposed and called to do. And so as I continue, I believe that I will become, if you will, more and more aware of all of what God has assigned me to do, connect and enable me to connect more with the lives of those who He's called and purposed me to influence, to encourage, to uplift, and to be able to do that as I learn how to share my story even the more.
So, as a preacher as well, how do you decide like what messages will go in your books and what message will go in your sermon? Because it seems like you should be pretty full of messages. I know as a writer, like for me, sometimes I'm like, oh, I want this to go in the magazine, or I want this to go on the website, or I'm trying to decide. And sometimes, I might do a part here and some there. But how do you decide?
I believe for me, it's a combination of things. Sometimes it's, yes, I'm led to the book to pull a message from the book. And then sometimes it may be something that God led me to read that morning as a part of my devotional time. And it just speaks to me in such a way. And then I start taking notes. It may just be one particular passage, but it's something that I just continue to meditate on. And I hear either Him speaking to me, or it's something that I feel, I don't know if that will make sense, but for me, It's sometimes it's just something that I feel deep in my spirit, like, this is blessing me. This is ministering to me. This is convicting me, because everything is not about the feel good.
Right.
Some things, even with what I may be led to post, it's not necessarily that it's a feel good message for me. Sometimes it's God saying, you need to get yourself together. And in the process of him speaking to me, I then share it in hopes that it will encourage someone else, for them to know you're not alone. If this is what you're wrestling with, if this is how you feel, know that you're not alone, because this is what I'm dealing with as well.
Right.
So it's like I said, it's a mixture. And so I'm just learning more and more to trust that I hear him, if that makes sense. Because sometimes you're a woman of faith. And so I'm sure this may resonate with you as well, that, we're not always sure for sure that we
Right.
are. We just got to walk by faith and trust that we did. And that if by some chance we missed it, if by some chance we misinterpreted, that his grace is sufficient, and that it'll cover us in the midst of, if you will, our mishearing. And so I'm just learning more and more as I move to write sermons and move to write more books, to trust that I'm connected enough to him that I hear him.
I was just thinking it's a matter of trust. Because I know when you said that about feeling, I know before I used to not, and it's almost a sense of intuition, I guess it might be a good word for it too, because I feel things oftentimes as well. We don't really know how to describe it, but it's there. Like, and when you act on it, it's like, wow, I was supposed to be doing it all along. Who would have ever thought? Or I would have never even, came thought of anything of the sort, but you just acted on a sense or on a feeling of something. And I totally get that.
Absolutely.
So where do you preach?
I am blessed to be a member of the Tabernacle of the Lord Church and Ministries right here in Baltimore, Maryland. And so I have been blessed to be able to hone my preaching gift. My pastor, Bishop C. Guy Robinson, has given opportunities for me to be able to do that, to grow my gift, not just as a preacher, but as a speaker as well, as a teacher. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that that's a part that speaks to the importance of being connected to the right people as it relates to our journey of healing. The first area, if you will, that God dealt with me about was getting myself spiritually healed. And that required me to step out of my comfort zone. And again, I go into the book about that, to trust him in some areas spiritually, because I was sick in every way. The stroke was just what brought all of my illness or sickness to life. But I was decaying in every aspect, in every area of my life. And that began again spiritually. And so the Lord had to minister to that area of my life. And that started with me needing to connect with a church home and to submit to a leadership, a pastoral leadership. And so part of whatever blessings and success and whatever healing that I've experienced, God started it through the ministry that I'm connected to, through my pastor and our members at the tabernacle. And for some people, that's what's needed. It's just needing to make the right spiritual connection.
Right.
And then all else kind of falls in line, if you will, from there. And so that's where I've been blessed to, as I said, to hone my gift, not just as a preacher, but as a teacher and as a speaker.
I understand. And so you said that was the Tabernacle in Baltimore, Maryland. Was
Yes,
that?
the Tabernacle of the Lord, the
Oh,
Tabernacle of the Lord Church and Ministries in Baltimore, Maryland. And we are located right in Southwest Baltimore, 2100 West Baltimore Street in Baltimore, Maryland.
okay. I just wanted to make certain so that in case anybody wanted to visit,
Yes.
I don't even know with the way things are with COVID right now, but you all have
Well,
online service.
though we are not meeting in person, we are virtual every week, not just for Sunday morning at 10 and 5 p.m., 10 a.m. and 5 p.m., but also on Wednesdays. We have our Discipleship Academy. And at this present time, we are speaking about life, loss, grief, and the hope of the gospel. And so if anyone is in a season right now where you may be grieving one thing or the other, I would love for you to connect and to just receive whatever it is that God wants to be deposited into your life, for you to be encouraged and strengthened in this season that you may be going through.
Gotcha. And I hope that some people take you up on that. I see Dr. Carlene, another client, is on, and she said, "Hey,
Hello.
I don't know if you all are in the same area. I know she's in the north too."
I would love to connect. I would love that.
Okay. So how do you balance business and personal life, or do you seek harmony instead?
I think I'm still learning because this is all still new to me. I've only been preaching for 2 years now. Um, uh, Released my book just to, the beginning of this year. And so I believe that I'm learning. Yes, I've, had entrepreneurial endeavors in the past, but I'm a different person now. You know what I mean? My life is different. I think differently. My flow is altogether different. And so I think that, I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to do that, to juggle it all together.
I think actually, and I have interviewed hundreds of people as of now, and most kind of say it's still kind of like a work in progress. And I actually learned about seeking harmony from a guest maybe 8 years ago. And she brought that to my attention. I was like, okay, because some people even say, I don't know if there is a balance. So that just kind of made me think. I always ask people just to kind of see, like, well, what type of person are you? Do you believe there's a balance, or how? And if so, how are you balancing? And if not, then
I believe that
something else.
Yeah, I believe that I like the seeking harmony piece aspect of it. I believe that there is a balance, and I think that again, as I continue to mature, if you will, on this journey, that I'll be able to connect with that balance more. But right now, balanced or unbalanced, I'm having the time of my life. Stressful at times. Don't know what I'm doing a lot of the time, but I am having the best time learning, exploring, and becoming more and more aware of, again, the greatness that's inside of me. And so I'm loving that.
And actually, I think that's how we enjoy life better. Like, as if we're really, students almost, just to continue learning. That's how I think life can be more fulfilling for a lot of us. So, what message would you give, or what words of wisdom would you share with other aspiring authors, especially like those who haven't written a book but that are working on it?
I would say for certain that if you feel this pull to do it, you feel that just one person would be blessed by your message, by your story, then do it. Find a great mentor. I believe that mentorship is very important as we move to connect and fulfill purpose. And so for you to be willing to connect with a mentor and to receive that guidance and that instruction, and that's that may not necessarily happen overnight. I personally believe we need to be prayerful about who we seek as mentors, because everyone's not anointed and appointed to speak into your life. And so to be prayerful about that, and to, again, be willing to be teachable, coachable, and to start working on, if nothing else, to start working on an outline. Think of what topics, if you will, that you would like to address in your book, and start writing an outline. What would you like your book to be about? And then go from there based upon what you would like the essence of the book to be about, to start just jotting down, if nothing else, just taking notes as to what substance, what points you would like to be the focal points, if you will, to your book, and kind of go from there. But again, start first with just seeking out a mentor who can help you to move forward in that, to bring your vision, your dream to life, and know that you can do it, and do it. Be willing to do it. Be willing to put in the time, because it's going to cost you. And I'm talking about more spiritually and mentally. It's going to cost you. Yes, there is a financial piece as well, but most importantly, it's going to cost you, because you're going to need to give of yourself and be willing to be vulnerable in order that others can be transformed by what God wants to use you to share. So that's a lot of points, right? But those things that came to my mind. So.
Well, no, I think that was great, though. I think even the message was very transparent. You letting them know, hey, it's going to be some work put into it, and it won't all just be the writing aspect of the work. So I like that a lot. So I know that you said that you're working on, well, you have the outline for your upcoming book. Is there anything else or any other projects that you would like to share?
I do have some wonderful things coming up. I need to be a little bit secretive for right now, but I promise. I had shared, I guess, maybe about a month ago, that I was going to release some information, some great news, and I was so excited, and I wanted to do it. I wanted to release it, and then I thought, I spoke with my mentors, and they were sharing, to make sure that everything is on point. Give it a little bit more time. Just trust the process, and do a little bit more behind the scenes. And so I needed to submit myself to their expertise, their leadership, and I trusted. I believe that God was showing that to me as well. Like, you need to give a little bit more time and attention to just put some last minute, if you will, some finishing touches, and move forward to share the information, the good news, the great things that he is using me to release at the last month and a half of the year, which excites me, because for anyone who needs to be encouraged that it's not too late, even again, a month and a half left in the year. And yet God has something, another move, something else great that he wants to use us to do. And we can't count ourselves out, and we can't let other people count ourselves out. It may not look like how we thought it would look, and it may not manifest the way or when we thought that it would, but that doesn't mean that it won't. It's never too late. It's never too late. And so my prayer is that when I share the great news that I have to share, that others will be encouraged to know, keep pushing. It may not manifest when and how you would like it to, the way that you envisioned it, but it's never too late when we give it to God and allow him to lead us. So just stay tuned.
And he's an on-time guy, so it's on his time and not ours.
Yes.
Okay, so for right now, I know that, well, I'll let you share where all they can find you, just to be on the safe side, in case there's because I have your Instagram listed, but just to be on the safe side, any other places where our audience can find you online, if it's a social network or whatever the case may be.
Right now, it is again Instagram and Facebook. at Audra, AUDRAL, as in Letitia, Hill, HILL. And I'm working on exploring into other areas, such as, LinkedIn and YouTube. But I'm just, I'm taking it step by step. But
take your time.
Well, for right now, those are the two places for sure that you can find me. So I would love to connect with more people. Learning how to come out of my comfort zone. This is all new, as I shared before, and it's definitely, if you will, to stay in this social media world. It's like, we need to learn how to be more interactive. So I'm learning how to do that, and I'm having fun. I really am. I'm enjoying it. So I would love to connect and to just receive more feedback again for anyone before we disconnect. I would love if you would support me again, From Trauma to Transformation, All Things New, my first baby, and my book is available. At this present time, it is available on Amazon, or you can inbox me, and I will be happy to prepare a signed copy for you.
Okay, and also I'll see about asking Jarmel to make certain that we drop the link in the comments. I thought he had been on. Normally he's already here dropping links, but I'm sorry we did not drop that one. But we'll come back and do so. But thank you for taking the time out to speak with me, and we're looking forward to your second book, as well as whatever other exciting news you have coming up. And I was just gonna say, just having, even though like you mentioned it being close to the end of the year, but now that just means you have something to look forward to in 2021. So congratulations, and I just wish you all the best of luck. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. You have a good one, okay?
You too. Bye-bye.
All right.